Namaste, greetings. Today is day 30. We've been on this journey together for 30 days. I'm super proud of you for staying with it and super happy that you have entrusted me to help you on this journey. And I'd like to get started with day 31, but before we do that, just a few little reminders. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button so it helps push it out to more individuals so I may help them. Also, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that when day 31 gets released, you'll be right here with me. And with that, let's get started here today. Get into a comfortable place. You can do this inside or outside. Today is a sequence that is 4 yoga asanas. And so if you're happy with yoga, stay with me. If you're not, then I understand. Maybe go for a 30-minute walk, or perhaps consider doing any one of the previous 29 sequences that we have showed you. Do what's best for you, but stay with it. I want you to do 3 sequences every day, and over the course of this journey, you should see some results. And the first asana is a very simple asana. We have done this before, but it's a great way to start the sequence to helping with the pelvic floor. I want you to go ahead and put your feet together, and then I want the bottom of the feet to touch each other. Now, if they can't touch, that's okay. That's fine. Do the best that you can. And then I just want you to rest in this position. And so we're going to hold this for about 2 minutes. And while we do this, I want to talk to you about doing a coupling effect with another asana or some visualization. I want you to, while you're doing this, to contract the pelvic floor for 1, 2, 3 seconds. Then I want you to lift the pelvic floor for 1, 2, 3 seconds. And then I want you to rest for 1, 2, 3 seconds. And keep repeating it. And even when you're at your desk working, or even when you're cooking, be sure to do that simple asana, which we've compiled with this asana to help you along the way. That research is very compelling. It shows that it can help really tone the pelvic floor, so both men and women can last longer in the bedroom. So again, I want you to contract the pelvic floor for 3 seconds, lift the pelvic floor for 3 seconds, and then I want you to rest. Start off with increments of 3 seconds and build your way up to 10 seconds. Some clients, they report back to me that they can do almost 30 seconds. So 30 seconds contracting the pelvic floor, lifting the pelvic floor, and then resting for 30 seconds. And make sure your bladder is not full when you do that, because it can irritate it. So you can do that with this asana. And while we're resting, doing those 2 asanas together, something that I've been meaning to talk to all of you about. I know these are very sensitive issues, and I can understand and appreciate how frustrated people can be. But it's really, really important to me that I tell you, from just patients reporting back to me, that if you're not lasting as long as you want in the bedroom, whether it's PE or ED, or ladies, you're finding that the bedroom experience is not as enjoyable, of course, work with your physician. That's number 1. But I want you, as best as you can, to stay motivated and to keep trying. A lot of the pelvic floor is made out of a group of muscles, and we have to train the muscles as best as we can. So as you're doing these sequences, I've intelligently put them together for you, a couple not only by the asanas, but by the acupressure to train the pelvic floor. So that's why I ask you to do it 3 times a day, because it's training that area. And if you can continue to train that area, then you can last longer. Now, I know in the bedroom, it may be frustrating when you may not enjoy that climax, or you might only last for 30 seconds or 10 seconds. I know it can be completely frustrating because patients report back to me, but stay with it. I want you to rendezvous with your partner as best as you can, if you can, a couple times a week, so that you continue to practice and use those pelvic floor muscles so that it can help you along the way. Now the next asana I'm going to do in a lateral view, but you can do it in any position that's comfortable. You can even use an acupressure mat or a yoga mat. I grew up sitting on the floor, so sitting on the ground floor here for me is quite comfortable. Do what's best for you. And the next asana is knees to chest. So I want you to consider doing that one. So here we go. We're gonna go ahead and get into a comfortable position. And then we are going to go ahead and lay down comfortably. And then we're going to move our knees to our chest. And then we're going to take our hands and go ahead and bring the knees together as far as to the chest as we possibly can. So I want you to hold this for just a couple of seconds to a couple of minutes. I'm going to do my best to hold it for a couple of minutes. And while we're doing this, what you can also do is to simply pull the blood from the top of the head down through the neck, through the spine, to the pelvic floor. And as you do this, visualize the blood circulating in the pelvic floor. I certainly feel the blood flow when I visualize. For me, it's been always that way. So if you're not able to, and you can if you'd like, to contract the pelvic floor for 1, 2, 3 seconds, lift the pelvic floor for 1, 2, 3 seconds, and then rest for 1, 2, 3 seconds. You can do that with the knees to chest asana. It will be a doubling effect. And or you can also visualize the blood coming from the top of the head, through the spine, through the tailbone, to the pelvic floor. And you can alternate. You can alternate from contracting the pelvic floor to lifting the pelvic floor to resting, to also letting the blood circulate, and visualize that circulation from the top of the head, through the neck, the spine, down the tailbone to the pelvic floor. So do what you feel and do what you see empirically that brings you the best results, or you combine the two. There's a beautiful method in Chinese medicine, which I came across early in my career, that is called the coupling effect. Basically, 1 + 1 does not equal 2, but equals 7. So combining 2 or 3 things together can give you greater impact than doing them individually. Now, the next asana is very simple, but it gives you an opportunity to simply rest. And we're going to go ahead and rest in this position for the next couple of minutes. And we're going to do our best to put our knees shoulder length apart. I can enjoy and rest when my knees are comfortably at the right length. So find the comfort for you. And again, during this time, you can again contract the pelvic floor for 3 seconds. So 1, 2, and 3. You can lift the pelvic floor for 3 seconds. 1, 2, and 3. And you can rest the pelvic floor for 3 seconds. 1, 2, and 3. And again, this is the coupling effect in Chinese medicine, where we're combining 2 asanas together because the impact is greater than doing them either individually apart. And also, if you want, every time you contract, lift, and rest, every couple of asanas in between, as you're resting in this asana, what I want you to consider doing is visualizing blood flow come from the top vertex of your head all the way down through the neck, through the spine, to the tailbone, to the pelvic floor, and let it pool and circulate throughout the pelvic floor. Now, as you keep doing this, they've done studies on this. Visualization can actually get the neuromuscular junction to fire as if those motor function is actually in place. So by doing that, our goal here again is to bring blood flow to the pelvic floor so it nourishes that area, tones that area, strengthens that area so that you can have more duration and control, which is what we're here to do. And then the other thing that I want to mention is that as we're doing this, I'm doing my best to also engage you with lifestyle activities and routines. And I will speak to you about that in just another second. So while we're in this asana, what I want you to do is to simply cross your legs underneath and put them right underneath. So the feet are underneath the knees. And then what I'd like for you to do is to lay your hands behind your head. And this will also help strengthen the pelvic floor. And while you're doing this, again, you can contract the pelvic floor. 3, 2, 1. Lift the pelvic floor. 3, 2, 1. And then rest. 3, 2, 1. Or you can visualize the blood flow going from the vertex of your head all the way through the neck, through the spine, through the tailbone, and let it pool around your pelvic floor. And you can do that anytime, all day, not even when you're in this position. You can be doing it while you're working or cooking or at a traffic light. But do get in the habit of doing that along with these acupressure and asanas. And while we're doing that, what I wanted to talk to all of you about is to really get into a good habit and a good routine. I'm doing my very best to help you with some nice sequences, but my hope is that you build these sequences into your life, picking one and doing that throughout the day. I want you to pick a sequence, any combination you want. You can do day 13 in the morning, day 7 in the afternoon, and day 21 in the evening. But just get in the habit of building that into your lifestyle, and also get in the habit of living a clean lifestyle, such as getting enough rest and getting plenty of water and getting some exercise, whether it's asanas or 30 minutes of walking. And also schedule the time. Sit down with your partner and schedule the time to spend with your partner. We think, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. No, be mindful. Put the effort in there to have that time with your partner. And with that, that is the 4 asanas that we have done together today. And just a few little reminders. I want you to go to the description today and then send us your email. There's some free course materials that I'd like to send along to you so you can have them and take notes. And be sure to get checked out by your physician. It's really important to me that you get checked out by your doctor so he or she can examine you and give you some recommendations, and you can layer in my recommendations into what he or she says, and stay with it. We've made it thus far on the journey, and there's exciting sequences to come and exciting results for you to see. And thank you for doing me the honor of being with me thus far. See you tomorrow.